preparations are, of course, already done. We are in our lobby, and we'll just be ready. Oh, actually, our players, they're going to get going even without a 3-2-1 or a confirmation that people are ready. So we're going to go right into our draft. I was not quite prepared for that, but luckily I was able to react fast enough. So, as I was talking about the roster of CCS, the Mainski is the captain of the team, so he's been here this whole time, but the rest of those names are relatively new. The rest of these names did not play in the first match that this team played in the season, probably not even the second or the third. And there actually is a little bit I can tell you about some of these players. This team, as I said, I kind of... The overall narrative that I built for them is that they are a team of rookies, but there are actually some of the members that they brought in the past week and a half are actually more experienced players, and those being Pina Colada as well as Wolf. Pina Colada is someone who, in the previous season of NGS, he played on a team called Illa Dancing Queens, which is still currently a team, although he's not currently on it. I know that in part because I had the opportunity to play against Illa Dancing Queens in the past season of NGS, and before he was on Illa Dancing Queens, I believe he was also on Annie Oak League, which is at this point, a pretty long-standing team in the Heroes of the Storm amateur scene. Meanwhile, Wolf is also someone who's been on teams before, and also someone that, coincidentally, I have had the chance to play against myself. Wolf, before this, was on a team called Who Knows Gaming, which was actually in Division B in previous seasons. I think even in just the very previous season of NGS. And I think they were a moderately successful team as well, which is saying a lot considering it was a Division B team. And I believe for their respective teams, I believe both Wolf and Pina Colada were actually tank players, but I think as the way it currently works out on currently chasing Samuro, I think Pina Colada is tanking and Wolf is one of the DPS players. Now, while I'm droning on about the history of some of these players, we do have our first few bans coming out. It will be the Phoenix ban coming out of currently chasing Samuro. That is something that has often been target banned, I believe, against Essence Gaming, something that they are pretty good at, but they are not always having the chance to play because it is frequently banned out against them. It will also be an Uther ban, which is curious. I think Uther, they might be the team that actually... I was wondering, they have played 4 games on Uther, and they might be the team that in the past, when I've seen them pick Uther, they pick it in a Uther main tank setup. So yes, I have confirmed that they do indeed like to play Uther main tank, so that will be taken off the board. Meanwhile, it's going to be the Deckard ban and the Kel'Thas ban out of Essence Gaming. So Pina Colada will choose to pick up the Johanna first. Pretty safe first pick. It's something that's nice to have as a first pick. Often seen as just one of the most reliable tanks in the game at the moment. Some people would just argue straight up the best, as well as one that's pretty forgiving and relatively common at pretty much all levels of play in competitive Heroes of the Storm. But what are our picks going to be for Essence Gaming in this 1-2 slot? It will be the Li Ming, as well as the ETC. I've had some talks with some players, as well as even someone who's shown his face in the chat, the good old Nyquil friend, personally feeling like Johanna's quite possibly the best tank in the game. ETC is good, but possibly countered by Johanna. But ETC also just very much a comfort pick. ETC a very fundamental main tank. Power slides also lead in pretty well to the follow-up from Li Ming. So let's take a look at our 2-3 slot pickups. Will be the Anduin from Murad and the Raynor from Wolf. Now, the Anduin pickup, I think, is an important one, in part because it's actually the most common pickup, or the most common healer for Essence Gaming. So it does deny the Anduin pick from Essence Gaming on that positive side. And then, I'm actually not sure how well Murad prefers to play it, because although I do have data on currently chasing Samuro and their hero picks, again, this is also data that's based on the entire team, while the players have actually changed out a bit. But, at the very least, as a team, they do still have 2 picks on the Anduin. And I think I've seen Wolf play the Raynor in previous series as well. So yeah, even see some people in chat recognizing Wolf from Who Knows Gaming. So, but those are Pina Colada and Wolf strike me as the more experienced players on these on this team. So I'm really looking to them to be the ones to kind of lead this team to hopefully their first victory for them, especially Wolf, given his, Division B experience, so potentially playing at a higher level. But let's take a look at this now. We've got our secondary ban phase coming out, one global banned out in the form of the Brightwing, and the Zool going to be banned out just as a common meta ban at the moment. Meanwhile, the Falstad and the Malthael pickup on the side of Essence Gaming. A lot of strong things coming from that. The Falstad obviously just giving you that global on such a big map. You could even argue that Malthael is like almost a pseudo-global with the On a Pale Horse at level 1, giving you that dual soaking potential. So there's a lot of macro added into the draft of Essence Gaming with those 2 picks alone. And certainly, in terms of that macro, I was thinking about, like, will currently chasing Samuro have anything on their side of the draft that really matches up to the macro that we just saw coming out of Essence Gaming? And I would say with the Sylvanas pick and the Thrall pick, in my opinion, I would say the answer is actually no. They definitely don't have the kind of dual soaking potential with the Thrall that Essence Gaming does have with the Malthael. Obviously, Sylvanas, no global at all on the side of currently chasing Samuro. So it's just going to have to be like better rotations, more kills, better team fight wins. And it's going to be the Rhaegar in the final slot for Essence Gaming. The Rhaegar, obviously a much more common pickup these days. Rhaegar is someone who goes kind of in and out of the meta in terms of how good he is. When I first started playing Heroes of the Storm in the end of 2015, and then basically going into the beginning of 2016, that was actually a time when Rhaegar was literally just straight up the best healer in the game. Over time, he was kind of power crept on by a lot of other supports, Stukov being released, heroes like Malfurion being reworked, and the overall throughput of supports kind of going up, and Rhaegar kind of having trouble keeping up in that regard. But recent changes have made Rhaegar just a little bit more viable and arguably even better than viable. But you know what? Let's stop talking about supports, and let's get into our first game of this series. So on the left side of the map, it's going to be the blue team. It's going to be currently chasing Samuro, still looking for their first win of the season. Pina Colada will be playing the Johanna. Murad on the Anduin. Wolf will be playing as the Raynor. The Mainski on Thrall. And Austin will be playing as Sylvanas. Meanwhile, their opponents, Essence Gaming, it's going to be Rakanishu on the Falstad. Ailish will be playing as ETC. Apocalypse on the Malthael. Tin playing as Li Ming. And finally, Studley Dudley. Oh man, what a name that is. Playing on the Rhaegar. So, I did also recently cast Essence Gaming, and I'm even seeing a little bit of a different look out of them, some different players. Last time, I don't think they had Studley Dudley in. I'm pretty sure if they did have him in, I would remember him just based on the name alone. So that's going to be something that's potentially a little bit of a different look. Some players still the same, though. Ailish, Tin, I believe Apocalypse played last time I cast them. Rakanishu, I'll be completely honest and say I'm not sure. All right, meanwhile, rotation will be coming out for currently chasing Samuro as they rotate down to the bottom lane to get the experience. Interesting setup for Apocalypse actually going to the bottom of the map, but I think I actually realized why that is. Between having a Falstad and a Malthael, that actually gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of your solo laning matchup, since Falstad typically, obviously, he is a ranged hero. Ranged hero is not as typical in the solo lane, but Falstad is one that actually is not regularly, but is sometimes put there, not just in terms of like out of necessity, but sometimes it's actually intentional. It sometimes does actually happen in competitive. And that actually puts the Malthael kind of in the 4-man. I'm not entirely sure what the advantages are of the Malthael in the 4-man. I honestly really couldn't say. But nevertheless, you get that flexibility anyway. Certainly fast lane clear, although the wave clear out of currently chasing Samuro for their 4-man, I mean, it's good enough at least with the Johanna, but I think it's just fine out of Essence Gaming as well, certainly with that Malthael actually being in the 4-man. Oh, but now Malthael could possibly getting rotated on. The root connects. There's a possible engage here, but they don't quite go in on it. Pina Colada not quite ready there, or I don't know. They just decided to not do it. But once the root landed, I felt that there was an opportunity, but it didn't seem like the rest of the team were on the same page with that, or they just weren't actually that interested in looking for that pick. Meanwhile, we are going to see a little bit of a macro advantage coming out of Essence Gaming. They will pick up their Bruiser Camp first. Will we see any kind of rotation to the Bruiser Camp for currently chasing Samuro? They might be thinking that they do want to time it with the objective a little bit better, and indeed we will eventually see Wolf and Murad trying to pick up this camp. Wolf taking a lot of damage, though. He does not have Exterminator, as was of course pointed out by our friendly NyQuil friend in chat. But, I mean, picking it up later and it's not having Exterminator, it's taken them quite a while to finish it off. While that's all happening, Mainsky is finding himself having to defend against the Bruiser Camp by himself. There's the rest of another wave catching up to crash against the towers, and I think we might even see one tower taken out entirely before the temples have even gotten started. At the moment, it is a double temple capture for the members of Essence Gaming. Engage from Ailish will go out on Pina Colada. Some follow-up, but not quite enough to really threaten a kill. And here comes the support from Apocalypse. Apocalypse looking to put on some of that pressure on Pina Colada with that percentage damage over time from Malthael. So the focus right now will be on the middle shrine or temple. It is it's actually a 5v4 at the moment. So I think the members of currently chasing Samuro need to push into this a little bit harder. It's still 5v4. Yes, Falstad could come in at any moment, but if they could be just a little bit more decisive, they could put on enough damage pressure before Falstad decides to get here, especially as long as Falstad is occupied trying to finish off a Bruiser Camp. So they don't decide to make that aggressive push to take the 5v4. A little bit strange in my opinion. And now they are going for the top camp, or at least what's left of it, or the top temple rather. And now it's just straight on a 5v5. Thank you, Duke Zach, or Spectrum, for the raid. Appreciate it so much as we get into what is basically our final NGS game for tonight. Certainly the last one on the schedule. That will be the temple, finished out in favor of Essence Gaming. Essence Gaming definitely coming out on the way better end of that in terms of, just structure. There are still 3 forts standing for the members of currently chasing Samuro, where we see one fort down to about 30% of its hit points, the other one down to about 60%. Meanwhile, we are going to see Wolf trying to pick up. All right, then. Thank you guys for coming in here. Nothing quite as spicy as seeing, I can't even remember all the drafts that I just saw in that last series. There was that tankless one where I think it was like an Illidan main tank, the Illidan with the Abathur. I think it was like a Grey main and a Kharazim. What a draft that was. And the other draft on the other side, I think, was a little bit more standard, only by virtue of having an Uther as a main tank. But you know what? Sorry, as spicy as I'm sure that series was, it's not about that series at this time. It really is about currently chasing Samuro, currently chasing their first win of the season. We'll see if they can get it against Essence Gaming. But right now, Essence Gaming is looking just a little bit stronger. Pina Colada is now really low. He does have Iron Skin, so he will manage to get out of there. And it's still yet another indecisive team fight at the moment. So we are closer to level 10 for Essence Gaming. And the bottom temple will be live and alive, and I don't know what I was going with that. Any moment now. Here it is. Well, not here it is, but in 20 seconds. Level 10 already found for the members of Essence Gaming. Still looking for it. Currently chasing Samuro. Currently chasing level 10. We'll see just how... Oh, but can they get 10? They're currently getting a gank. That's actually a really good gank to have. But it's still going to be a 4v4, and they're still technically down 10. There it is, picked up. And this could be what allows currently chasing Samuro to possibly get a more decisive team fight. But Ailish is already so low. What's he doing? Oh, no. I don't know I don't know what went on there. It's something that, I mean, at the end of the day, it probably is just like a someone done goof there, and I hate to, like, roast people too hard, but, I mean, Ailish was just kind of going in there, drawing a lot of resources, taking a lot of damage, until eventually, I believe Ailish is a girl, until eventually she just died. And I'm not quite sure what happened. My best guess is that she was going in hoping to wait for the Blessed Shield to come out so that the Mosh interrupts would be down. So that then she could go for a Mosh. That's my best guess, because otherwise it was kind of a big oof. And then once the ETC was down, it made it for easy cleanup. Easy cleanup with the light bomb out of Anduin. So obviously some weak start for currently chasing Samuro, but well, then some strange things going on for Essence Gaming, allowing currently chasing Samuro to make some way back into this game. And certainly these structures are actually very, very even at the moment. Structures are even. We do have 4 kills to 0, but experience is also completely even. So ultimately this is still a completely even game. If anything, though, I was a little bit worried about, Mainski being over here when we've got 5 of Essence Gaming here. Essence Gaming actually looking for a fight. They will be able to get a 4v5, or rather a 5v4 in their favor. Another light bomb goes out, but this one might be able to finish Apocalypse on that Malthael, but kills will be traded out. Austin does go down, and Pina Colada will go down as well. Oh my god, the Gust to make it potentially even worse. Trying to chase under the fort with that Li Ming. And Mainski does finally make it here, but unfortunately looking just a little bit too late. So, turns out, based on some things I'm seeing in our chat, we might not have as spicy of a draft as the one on Spectrum's channel, but we've got some spicy talent picks potentially. Have we got a crowd surfer? So that means, of course, this entire game will definitely come down to a late game mosh pit through a wall. That has to be the case. That has to be the case, as long as Crowd Surfer has been picked up. Otherwise, doesn't get any value. Of course, I'm exaggerating, but, just thinking in terms of the best possible storyline, given our talent choices. So, I'm guessing that we will see the bottom fort cleaned up by Essence Gaming. Wolf is the only one here to defend it. We will have Austin trying to move down there, but he won't be in time. Meanwhile, we are going to see Apocalypse busy cleaning up the lanes up top, taking care of that Bruiser camp, but at least as Malthael, I don't think this will be too hard for him. Well, but, timing still isn't perfect, and we also do see the potential rotation out of currently chasing Samuro, but definitely, Apocalypse definitely spotted them, given that the Essence Gaming did hold the Vision Beacon. All right, currently chasing Samuro will be looking to occupy the camp. Now, unfortunately, right here, oh my god, macro decisions. So while they're getting a camp, it doesn't seem like they have any idea about what's going on right here, that Essence Gaming are actually on the boss. And Essence Gaming absolutely guaranteed to take this. No chance that it will be interrupted. They're taking it with 3. And I think part of the bait here is the fact that Malthael is seen top. They knew Malthael was top. Falstad had to be on the bottom, or at least someone had to be on the bottom. They probably didn't suspect that the boss was even an option. But, who did we have taking the boss? I know we had Rhaegar taking the boss. Was it Li Ming as well? Yeah, it had to be Li Ming, 1 damage dealer. Between those 3, it's not too bad of a 3-man for taking boss, especially Rhaegar contributing a little bit more damage than many other supports do. Blessed Shield will go out defensively. I don't feel that was entirely necessary here. And now they have to defend against the boss in a lane that does not have a front wall. Mainski potentially in a little bit of trouble. He will get pulled out. Last Rites is used on him, but it doesn't kill him. Okay, so it does look like it will be a successful defense. All right, in the end, things work out for, well, kind of both of these teams, at least in the sense that, Essence Gaming, they got the boss, they got some value. At least for currently chasing Samuro, they were able to keep their keep. Of course, important so that they are not facing down that lane pressure and finding themselves having to make really hard choices later on in the game. But we do see a structure lead for Essence Gaming. And of course, just a big part of how this map works is that once you are ahead, you can afford to play safer and afford to play more conservatively, because you will always positively trade out on temples. So the onus is really on currently chasing Samuro. Once they do have an even talent here, to make some sort of aggressive play, they need some kind of team fight victory. They can't afford to just passively trade out on keeps, or rather temples, because it will work against them every time. Okay, well, I think this is as good a time as any. They should be able to get 16 once they clear this Bruiser camp as well as the top lane, and then they really, really just need to go for some kind of team fight. on this bottom temple. It's also possible, at this point I was going to say, of course, you might want to be looking for a pick. Malthael stepping out here is probably the best chance they're going to get, but I don't think they're in the position to actually make anything happen of it. Okay, no. Afraid not. And it's still looking a little rough for currently chasing Samuro. We see the lane push coming out of the members of Essence Gaming. You know, they definitely have the better draft for macro between the Malthael, between the Falstad, even the Rhaegar. Even throwing the Rhaegar in does help them out with better macro. So the keep, unfortunately, this time will not be kept by currently chasing Samuro. And at best, they're going to get like maybe 20% of this temple if they take a team fight now. But really, I think more than the temple is they honestly want to look for a fight at some point. They want to get some kills, and then they want to see what additional they can get out of that. A Mosh will go out. It might just be enough to finish Murad, and indeed it is. Ailish gets these ancestral healing just in time. It's not even a bloodlust. Apocalypse is in there, might trade out another kill. We see the disengage attempt from Rakanishu, but it won't be enough to save Malthael. So kills are actually traded out 1-to-1, and it is Essence Gaming who are lower on health. Studley Dudley trying to top them up, but he did not go for Healing Totem at level 7, or rather at level 4. So the sustained healing of Rhaegar in this case, quite weak. So yeah, there's no chance there that they do take anything else. Meanwhile, it does seem like right here, they could be going for an invade. Oh, the Crowd Surfer through the wall! There's the Crowd Surfer play, but is it enough? Tin is just making it here just a little bit late, but Ailish does not have the health to do this, and we don't have an Ancestral out of Studley Dudley this time to make that work. It was interesting, it was flashy. Crowd Surfer as well as Barrel Roll, although Falstad really not someone you want to commit through the wall unless you have a lot of support to back it up. Unfortunately, really not quite enough with a Rhaegar who still had Ancestral Healing still on cooldown. So it will be Bruiser Camp picked up by currently chasing Samuro. So we're going to see the rotation from Apocalypse to try to de-push that. At this point, I'm not even sure how much it's worth it to try to keep this fort alive, but I guess you still get the better lane pressure by virtue of keeping the fort alive. And between the Li Ming, the Falstad, and the Apocalypse, the Malthael, they'll clear that up real quickly. We even see the Echo Pedal. We even see the Echo Pedal on ETC, which to me just strikes me as an even further commitment to the macro. The wave clear for Essence Gaming is just all around, I would say, quite a bit stronger than the wave clear out of currently chasing Samuro, even with that Johanna, who is usually considered the wave clear tank. But ETC with Echo Pedal actually has pretty good wave clear, can reasonably clear waves by himself, and if he's got a team with him, can clear waves, well, pretty fast. So level 20 is almost to be found for Essence Gaming. Oh man, currently chasing Samuro. Unfortunately, I feel like one of the undoings of currently chasing Samuro is sometimes a little bit of indecision, a little bit of sometimes not recognizing what they need to do at the right moment. Unfortunately, level 20 will be against them very, very soon. I think they really needed to see if they could find a team fight before level 20. Unfortunately, that won't be the case at this time. And I think the best they can hope for. This is actually really rough. Okay, so it looks like they will. This is an opportunity, but Rakanishu does not get hit by either a Blessed Shield or a Feral Spirit, so he will get out of there just fine. And meanwhile, this will now just be a 4v4, but currently chasing Samuro is down 20. A nice double route, at least for disengagement potential. It's not a 4v4 anymore. It's a 5v4 with Apocalypse on the backline, but Apocalypse is also a little bit cut off from his team. He's trying to sustain with that crazy Malthael sustain. Is he in range? Studley Dudley was trying to, I think, look for a Ancestral on him, but the way he was cut off just might be what they need. Ailish instead takes the Ancestral healing. Austin walks forward, takes a lot of damage, and at this point, despite being down 20, the positioning is actually better for currently chasing Samuro, and the Rhaegar not having a healing totem up against an Anduin does mean that the sustained healing doesn't match up for Essence Gaming, and they actually end up losing that fight. That's actually quite amazing, just the way that went. All right, so Apocalypse will be getting off. That's it both is a victory and it isn't for the members of Currently Chasing Samuro. It isn't really a victory, but it's also not as big of a loss as they could have suffered. They basically survived a 4v5 and managed to get some of the temple when I would have expected them to just lose them both. Now, they have level 20. The big elephant in the room, of course, just is this boss that's on the field. Both teams, oh no. And now Currently Chasing Samuro in a really rough position where, okay, this lane push isn't so bad. Much of that bruiser camp was actually already taken out. But the positioning by Essence Gaming is still better. Ailish looking for a play, but kind of a little bit too itchy on the trigger finger there at that moment. Rough position right now by Currently Chasing Samuro, and they're clearing the lanes. Oh no, I don't think they're going to get here in time. If they do, it's going to be just barely. They don't, and Ailish will be there to zone them out. Oh man, that's so rough. And the wind tunnel. There's no chance against the wind tunnel either. So another boss picked up by Essence Gaming. And if anything, I'm a little bit surprised, Essence Gaming not choosing to push alongside the boss. Of course, a lot of core calls these days are a lot more suspect than they were in days of yore. These days, the core mechanics make things kind of scary where it really depends on what core you're dealing with. And I'm not even 100% sure myself yet. What are all the different core mechanisms for defense? Pina Colada does take some damage, does have a light bomb. It does go on to Apocalypse. We are going to see an attempted mosh pit out of Ailish. Ailish will draw out the Ancestral. And it does look like this, I don't know, at the moment it's a pretty indecisive team fight. Kills neither way. That's a last rites way too early out of Apocalypse, reaching really far for that one. Oh my god, the core is actually taking a lot of damage. Is there another wind tunnel? There's another wind tunnel. If there's another wind tunnel, Rakanisha can just gust them away, and then they can just right-click the core. Okay, he finally does do it. At this point, they realize that they can just right-click the core with the wind tunnel. All right, that will be game number 1 going in favor of Essence Gaming. And although, I definitely said that this matchup could have been a potential chance for the members of Currently Chasing Samuro to look for potentially their first win in the season, since, as I said, Essence Gaming is neither the easiest opponent that they will face, nor the hardest. So I felt that this was as good a time as any for Currently Chasing Samuro to try to look for their first win in the season. Nevertheless, I do still feel that Essence Gaming is kind of favored here. Obviously just given their previous record and also given the performance that we just saw on that map. Definitely Essence Gaming was very clearly ahead on the macro, which is interesting, just noticing the totem poles of teams within the division. Essence Gaming were very much outclassed by the macro of Better Than Bots, but here we see them kind of putting on a show against Currently Chasing Samuro with really having the better end of the macro here. Their draft was better tailored to macro. They played the macro better. All right, so as I was still focused on that, we are going to have our next draft. Next draft in the series on Dragonshire. So, obviously, just as I was trying to analyze things, I personally recommended against the Dragonshire, but we'll just see what they have planned here. Perhaps it's a map that they do feel comfortable on. Perhaps they do understand the macro of the map better. And I wonder if an Abathur was maybe part of their plans. I'm going to take a quick look, see. Oh, the Phoenix, man. Essence Gaming is just not allowed to play Phoenix. I mean, they have 3 picks on Phoenix. Essence Gaming, that is. And I had actually mentioned this the last time that I cast them. Well, they only have 3 picks. They picked a lot of other heroes quite a bit more. But as I was partly told, I think a member of the team tried to tell me that a big part of the reason that they don't have as many picks on Phoenix is that it's just so frequently banned against them. And in fact, yeah, Phoenix so far, before today, Phoenix was banned out against them 9 times. So for whatever reason, Phoenix is by far the most banned hero against Essence Gaming. Whoever it is, I'm guessing Tin is the one who plays it. And I think I'll even try to look back at some previous series. In fact, all 3 of the times that they used Phoenix were against Team Randy Newman. And if I take a look at those, we see a Maiev, we see an ETC. They might have been trying to build towards like maybe Planet Cracker Wombos. And it does look like that might have been the case. So, Phoenix, then the Anduin also taken out, as that is the most commonly played healer for Essence Gaming. While the Rexar will be banned out on the side of Essence Gaming. Now, the Rexar is something that I think is just regarded as a very good hero on this map for winning those top shrines or altars or whatever they're called on this map, the objectives. And generally, I think there are probably a lot of... I don't want to oversimplify things too much, but there are probably some schools of thought that it's like either you take the Rexar if you can get it, or you ban it. Not quite sure if it's that extreme, but I do think that does sometimes run into... I think that is sometimes the case. Now, here are some interesting things about the draft we see so far. Pina Colada is on the ETC. It's a hero that I do know he is comfortable playing. Johanna was picked up. But we're seeing some certainly different players at least appearing on these heroes. Now, at the end of the draft, we could always just see heroes swap back to people who played that role before. But when I see different names on different roles, it does make me wonder kind of what's going on. So Wolf now on the Zul. Now, Zul normally a solo laner, but if Wolf is on the Zul, that does make me wonder, is Wolf just going to be in the 4-man, and then they actually pick up another solo laner for Mainsky? Alternatively, it could just be a role swap. Maybe Wolf is just a lot more comfortable on the Zul than Mainsky is, and it could just be a role swap. But I don't think I've actually seen Mainsky play off-role yet. I haven't watched every series by Currently Chasing Samuro, but I have seen, I think, 3 of them. Meanwhile, the Uther ban, I actually don't really like the Uther ban this time, because I think from what I've seen, Essence Gaming doesn't run it as a solo support Uther. They run it as a main tank Uther, which means running it as a main tank Uther with another full-time healer. There is also technically the possibility of running Uther solo lane, but on this map, I don't actually think that's a good idea. Meanwhile, the Tychus pickup is also an interesting one. Tychus is a very, very niche hero. I feel it's a little bit hard to make him work. I'm not sure if picking up him alongside of Johanna is really the best use of him, but we'll see if that can work. Now, what I'm seeing right here, the draft that I'm seeing... So out of Currently Chasing Samuro, they could be building towards single target blow up. They could also be building towards a more aggressive, like, rush comp. Not rush in terms of, basically they can get the Bloodlust, which would work well with the Greymane, and just try to run all over their opponents. It's actually a very big question about, are they going to pick up another solo laner or bruiser for Mainsky at this point, or is he actually playing damage in this game? Meanwhile, Blaze picked up on the other side, and I personally love Blaze as a hero. He's one of my favorite heroes, but I do actually worry quite a bit about picking him up on this map if he is your solo laner and not your main tank. And that's not saying that I normally think Blaze should be a main tank. It's more just that I do think Blaze is a little bit weak on the solo lane in this map. Okay. So that will be... Yeah. And in this setup, it does make more sense for Zul to be in the 4-man. Aside from the wave clear he provides, it really helps them to try to find kills in the 4-man. That's why Greymane is probably the best hero to synergize with this. Even though the overall range damage, and especially the poke out of Currently Chasing Samuro, is pretty weak. So, my feelings on this draft are honestly pretty complex, and I don't think I'll even be able to fully explain them before we get into the game, and I'll probably just have to be content to do it as we, get the game started and after I just introduce the players on their heroes. There are things I like about both drafts, but there are also, I think, problems with both drafts, so I can't conclusively call it either way. And, at the end of the day, I think there's a good time when it will just depend on how each team executes their respective drafts. All right, then. So, we are now in our game. And on the left side, Currently Chasing Samuro, currently looking for another win, looking for a game, looking for a win, looking for I don't know what I can't do this anymore. Let's just go. It's Austin on the Greymane. Murad will be playing as the Rhaegar. Pina Colada on ETC. Mainsky on the Malthael, and Wolf will be playing as Zool. Meanwhile, Essence Gaming up 1-0 in this series. Tin will be playing as Li Ming. Rakanishu on the Tychus. Studley Dudley will be playing as the... What is he playing as? Just I'm trying to make sure. I can't even tell. Is he... I don't know. I can't even see anymore. He is on the Johanna, and now it's Apocalypse on the Stukov, and that finally does mean Ailish on the Blaze. Are we going to see a kill right here? All right, no kills just yet. But, you know, after we have our, you know, our starting mid-fight kind of dying down, I do want to talk a little bit more about these drafts. So I do think that the draft out of currently chasing Samuro, you know, putting a solo laner in the 4-man, in that Zool, certainly gives you very, very classed lane clear. So very, very quick rotations between the lanes, and a potential that you could create better lane pressure just by clearing out the lanes very, very quickly, and then possibly get a macro advantage by taking the siege camp before your opponent does. Greymane also allows it so that you can only commit one hero to taking out the camp rather than two. Normally, you would want your healer and a damage dealer to get the siege camp, and it actually looks like Murad will get in there. Oh, well, we might see a kill come out on Wolf. I don't think he gets out of here alive. Just kidding, he does. So, actually, I don't even like that in the end that Murad did come to help Austin. I think Austin should have taken care of that by himself because he's Greymane and he can. So yeah, just the 4-man out of currently chasing Samuro, I think it is well built for kill opportunities. You get the ETC power slide initiation. The route from Zool just makes it so that person, whoever gets hit by those things, really has their hands off the keyboard. And then between the Rhaegar and the Greymane, it should be enough to finish off many of the potential targets on the side of Essence Gaming. Now, what I feel is weak about the draft from Essence Gaming, or rather, currently chasing Samuro, it's not that well built for team fights in the sense that their only ranged damage dealer is Greymane. And as a ranged damage dealer, Greymane doesn't have really reliable spell damage. He doesn't have really reliable poke. He, of course, does have Flask, but again, Flask not quite as reliable as other choices in terms of your ranged damage dealers. So we are going to see double altars picked up. Double altars picked up by the members of Essence Gaming, as we see Ailish looking in the middle to try to see if she can get that first shrine. And, you know, I talked about the solo lane matchup. One of the concerns about Blaze is that I feel he doesn't duel very well in a lot of solo lane matchups, and certainly not against someone like a Malthael. Malthael will definitely just sustain off Blaze while doing way more damage in return, which I think is part of the reason why we saw a little bit of a trade in terms of who was in the lane. Ailish was actually more in the 4-man, whereas we had Tychus more in the solo lane, since Malthael does sometimes struggle against ranged heroes in the solo lane. So second time we did see the attempt to pick up the Dragon Knight from Essence Gaming. They don't quite get it. Although Mainsky seeming like he's actually doing okay against Rakanishu here. He might even be able to get a kill on Rakanishu. Okay, luckily Rakanishu does have a run and gun to safely get out of there. But in the end, it still does feel like kind of a winning trade for Malthael. Yeah, I definitely feel Malthael got the stronger end of controlling that shrine. We're going to see an attempt to pick up the Dragon Knight from Wolf. He'll actually go to clear out the waves first, make sure they're getting experience. But this is time when Essence Gaming could potentially get it back. Okay, Ailish will be there to stall it. So by himself, Wolf is not going to pick up this Dragon Knight, and it eventually looks like the red team, Essence Gaming, will pick the Dragon Knight back up. Now, eventually, this long, protracted fight down on that bottom shrine, we are going to see the mana bars get rather low for the members of Essence Gaming, so we do see Tin backing off, Apocalypse backing off as well. This does, of course, give time for currently chasing Samuro to pick the shrine back up in their favor, but it does actually look like Rakanishu and Mainsky are kind of trading things out, and I wonder how that works. It could just be when Rakanishu actually has minigun ready, it could be that Mainsky really doesn't want to straight up fight Rakanishu. And let's also take a look. So Rakanishu also does have In the Rhythm. He did not go for
He did not go for the bigger they are, looking for a more sustained play style, and that's also something that if he does find himself in sustained fights directly against the Tychus, that also could be okay. But actually, let's take a look at this. Okay, do we see a kill complete on Apocalypse? It looks like Wolf is in a lot more trouble. He's kind of body blocked, and now he's going a different route. I don't think he makes it out here alive. He will not be able to dodge the magic missiles out of tin, so that will be the first kill of the game, going in favor of Essence Gaming. Okay, big silence does go down. Austin's trying to see what other work he can get done, but Murad right here, Murad is our Rhaegar player. He also does not have a healing totem. Rhaegar does make the sustained healing for a Rhaegar quite inherently worse than if you were, going for anything else. I'm not saying that you should always get the healing totem, just commentating rather factually that you very clearly have less sustained healing. Oh no, Pina Colada might go in a little too deep there, trying to count on getting that kill on Studley Dudley. They get it on Tin as well, and they might even just be able to get a third. Okay, now Dragon Knight was picked up in the time that team fight was being won. Dragon Knight is currently getting value, actually going for the whole fort, so they want to see if they can get a fort. Now pulling out, Rakanishu is caught a little off guard, and that will be another kill in favor of currently chasing Samuro. So the Dragon Knight was able to get that, certainly the front wall here, a little bit of the fort, trying to rotate bottom, see what other value he can get. Okay, oh, Pina Colada secures a solo kill onto Studley Dudley. No, was that Studley Dudley? No, that was Apocalypse. Apocalypse right behind the... actually going in past the fort, and of course that is the... that is some pinball wizard value there. Of course, I know we got some people in chat, big fans of the pinball wizard, even though we did see the... Echo Pedal get some value last game. Of course, different players, so different talent choices, and different teams, of course, as well. Siege Camp will be picked up by Essence Gaming. And, yeah, I mean, just like last game, our levels are very, very even. And kills, just like last game, are in favor of currently chasing Samuro. And yet, it was the first Dragon Knight going over in favor of Essence Gaming. Now, as was pointed out in the chat, it wasn't exactly a high-value Dragon Knight, but I do feel that if things continue to go on this course, it could just be another win for Essence Gaming, because that was also the case last game. More teamfight wins out of currently chasing Samuro, but more objectives as well as just more structure damage in favor of Essence Gaming. And at the end of the day, this isn't team deathmatch. To win the game, you got to kill the core. These are Galaxy Brain gameplay tips you're getting right here on my stream tonight. Tin teleporting in, looking for another big barrage. And Tin, we do see he has gone for Calamity. Okay, Pina Colada has committed himself in. It's Studley Dudley who's potentially in trouble. There is also the Bloodlust, but the not the lurking arm, the other one, the big arm, the massive shove, does get someone off, but the first kill will actually happen onto Johanna. They're going to try to pick up another one on Ailish, despite... Oh, they don't get it. Oh, no, Austin does get it! Maybe that was... Maybe that actually, I had talked about maybe Greymane not having as reliable spell damage as other ranged assassins, but I think that was a flask kill. Correct me if I'm wrong. Meanwhile, up on top, Mainsky still dealing with Rakanishu head-to-head. And this time, Wolf will not be interrupted by anyone. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. I was totally wrong. He'll be interrupted by some minions. Oh, no. And because he was interrupted by the minions, he doesn't get the Dragon Knight. I can't believe that. Meanwhile, Rakanishu looking to see if he can find a kill. He does get it. So it might be, just longer we get into this game. I don't know. Normally, I don't... Oh, all right. While I'm trying to form sentences, Pina Colada will be picked off, and that will be a successful invade for Essence Gaming. I was trying to talk about how maybe there are just some things that I don't know about the Malthael versus Tychus solo lane matchup, because who knows anything about the Tychus versus Malthael solo lane matchup, and it's Essence Gaming picking up yet another Dragon Knight. And I think this Dragonite will get quite a bit more value than the last one. Of course, it's a Dragonite later on in the game, but we also don't see any members of Essence Gaming dead. So, middle fort taken, foregone conclusion. Still about 68% left on that Dragonite. Where is he going, though? I thought they were going to try to maybe rotate out to bottom, but it doesn't look like that might be necessary. Ailish trying to do as much damage herself on that, but it does look like we might have some kills traded out, and Studley Dudley goes down yet again. A turret, not a turret, a Draken Laser Drill is dropped by Rakanushu, but ultimately not to much avail in that particular case. And it's 7-3 in kills for currently chasing Samuro, which, as it turns out, I believe that was the exact kill count from last game. We probably won't see the same kill count this game, as obviously we've still got quite a bit of game left to play here. Pina Colada and Austin trying to do some damage. Austin needs to be real careful here. He's already under a huge amount of threat from Tin, and here's the rotation from Ailish. Gonna look for... Oh, what a cleanse! Mainsky, get out of here, Mainsky! We already saw Murad pulling off some heroics right there with that cleanse to keep you guys alive. Don't waste what he provides. That was an actually amazing cleanse. All right, then. In spite of their heroics, we are going to see Essence Gaming push down this bottom fort. They will actually think better of it now that they see the defense out of currently chasing Samuro. Bruiser Camp also picked up by the Mainsky. Level 16 talent tier for Essence Gaming, and very shortly for currently chasing Samuro. So things still technically looking even. We still have more kills for currently chasing Samuro. But both dragons have gone into... Oh, are they going to get Rakanushu here? Rakanushu does get out in time, and that's a wasted 5-man rotation. Or is it? I guess they actually have the potential here to get this fort. Pushing with the spell armor from the Bruiser Camp. Actually, there's no way they get the whole fort, but they do get some out of it. You know, a nice, like, 30, 40%. But on the bottom, it does look like more value is gotten by Ailish and Studley Dudley. Never going to get tired of saying that name, as they do manage to destroy the bottom fort for currently chasing Samuro. And they'll be in a better position to get the shrines. Both Mainsky right here is staying there. Oh, man, this is starting to look disastrous for currently chasing Samuro. There's actually no way that this fort stays alive. I'm not even sure if the laser drill was necessary, but it just confirms it and makes things absolutely sure. And actually, now they're starting to back out while they still don't really have it. All right, but it will eventually be picked up. Meanwhile, Ailish is by herself. Moves back. Oh, no, Ailish. Ailish just put herself in a position to get body blocked. Has to throw out the bunker. It might just be enough to stall. Does have a jet propulsion. And here's some support from Tychus, but Austin is chasing after. Okay, won't be the kill onto Ailish, but it was very, very scary there when she kind of went back in and found herself getting body blocked. She's really low on health, but we do have a Stukov on the side of Essence Gaming. A lot of sustained healing coming out of that hero, so it won't be too hard to top her back up. Okay, will be another double shrine picked up for the members of Essence Gaming. Pina Colada positioning aggressively in the bush. I don't know if Murad is hidden. Okay, they sneak out Pina Colada. Okay, but we have potential kill opportunity on Tin. Can they get it? They don't get it. Ailish is the lowest one. I think they will get the kill onto Ailish. It will indeed. Next one will be Studley Dudley. Trying to get more. Pina Colada needs to make sure that he doesn't get traded out, though. I was a little bit worried there after the initial kill on Tin didn't happen, and I feel like that is some of the limitation of this Greymane solo range DPS. I feel like just about any other range, if you had like just another range DPS instead of either a Malthael or a Zul, I feel that would have been a kill on the Li Ming outright earlier in the fight. Well, obviously you need the Zul, so I guess instead of the Malthael, they're going to see if they can get a kill on Tin anyway. I'm actually still amazed with how long that kill on Tin took. because they didn't even have Greymane here. And finally, currently chasing Samuro are able to pick up their first Dragon Knight of the game. Need to really make up the structure advantage here. Now, of course, threw out a Dragon Breath on the tower in the middle, but then choosing to ignore middle. Bottom lane, just obviously, by far, the highest value lane on this map. You don't have the death bridges like you do in the top, and you also have the potential double mercenary camp push pressure. Actually, potential triple mercenary camp push pressure. I'm not entirely sure I do like Mainsky clearing here by himself, because we're seeing that this push in the bottom was actually very well defended against, and they're actually quite scared about it. So it was the first dragon out of currently chasing Samuro. I don't feel that it's getting quite as much value as it could have. Now, of course, Mainsky does want to try to get his team to level 10, but I think there's also possibilities that they could get to level 10 with kills if they actually had a 5v5 here instead of a 4. Well, actually, they have a 4v4 because they already managed to kill Studley Dudley. They're going to see if they can get another one on Ailish, but they can't because the healing comes in from Stukov at exactly the right time. Okay, so actually, I guess maybe I was wrong. Mainsky was actually able to finish off the fort on the top. So really the only thing they didn't get was this middle fort. I still feel they probably could have gotten more here. And at the end of the day, I personally do think maybe even just getting the towers, the keep front wall might have been worth more than getting the fort in the top lane. All right, Wolf will be picking up a siege camp. This is actually really tough to call. I think this is certainly the best currently chasing Samuro has looked all series. They've still got the lead in kills, so they're still winning most team fights. And of course, we're getting to later in the game where those kills are going to matter a lot more. Longer respawn timers, more that you can get out of getting a kill than you would be able to early on in the game. Mainsky still kind of playing that macro game, getting the Bruiser Camp himself while clearing out the Bruiser Camp from Essence Gaming. So we do see the rest of the members of currently chasing Samuro pulling out, make sure that they don't get engaged on 5v4. Although it does look like Tin had actually retreated, or rather hearthed to base to make sure that he does have enough mana. So what is going to happen right here? Okay, I think this is the potential play. Oh, I think Mainsky is here kind of as the bait. And then they're probably going to try to Oh, I think Studley... Okay, Pina Colada goes out of there. Studley Dudley's the first one, though. Studley Dudley already doesn't have Iron Skin. But the Last Rites doesn't succeed in killing him. Here is a Mosh. And the Mosh comes out after Studley Dudley commits the Blessed Shield. It's going to be 2 kills. We're going to make it 3, I think. That will be 3 kills, and that was it. That should be another Dragon Knight going in favor of currently chasing Samuro, and we're at the time in the game when that could threaten to just finish it off. And we could see currently chasing Samuro, aside from the fact... Oh, but Tin is trying to stall it out. Aside from the fact that I said... aside from the fact that I had said that currently chasing Samuro is looking for their first series win, they are still also technically looking for their first map win, and right now it's looking very, very close. Technically, it is recorded that they have a map win against their last opponent's Respect the Goose, but that was an occasion where Respect the Goose actually had to forfeit a map because they accidentally did something that was banned by picking Brightwing on Dragonshire and then having Brightwing in the Dragon Knight. But that's a story for another day. A lot of drama around that. Another kill probably on Tin. And with that kill, I think currently chasing Samuro might be actually able to really win their first map of the season. We have the core being right-clicked by the Dragon Knight, but there is a stun out of Ailish. Can they convert this into kills? Mainsky is looking rather low, but that was a Storm Shield out of Rhaegar. 73% left on the core, and there is the Bloodlust committed as well. Mainsky trying to get onto Rakanishu. I don't think Rakanishu makes it out alive here, and it will indeed be the actual first map win for Currently Chasing Samuro. So this is a landmark night for Currently Chasing Samuro. This is their first map win. And just in case anyone's, on the NGS website, checking the stats, checking through other games, they were awarded a map win in their series against Respect the Goose, but that was one that came out of a forfeit on the match or even like a disqualification because Respect the Goose had accidentally broken the rules on that map. This is the first time that Currently Chasing Samuro has killed a core in NGS this season. So this is the best they've looked all season. And I did say, at the start, now's as good a time as any for them to look for their first win of the season, and they're closer than they've ever been. Kidding, our third draft. I just want to say first these nights. It's like on YouTube. All right then. So we saw a ban on some. Not Samuro. We saw a ban on Rexar the last time I'm around. I believe it came from Essence Gaming against Currently Chasing Samuro. So if that is actually something, I feel like we could see that again. And yet I'm actually taking a look at the heroes picked by Currently Chasing Samuro. It doesn't actually look like they've picked Rexar at all. So last time it was just banned out kind of as a map ban, as something that was good on that map. So it's something that could be banned out again. But, in terms of solo laners that like win lanes pretty well, it looks like Mainski's choice of hero for that is Malthael rather than Rexar. Meanwhile, it's going to be the Phoenix band yet again. Essence Gaming, after their first series, or at least after their series against Team Randy Newman, basically not allowed to play Phoenix ever again. Although part of that I believe it's a combination of things. It's probably also a recommendation. Oh, it's going to be the Rexar ban again. Probably a recommendation from, the CCS daddy of Valkymer, who has an inexplicable hatred for Phoenix. So it's Tin who plays the Phoenix, so he's just not allowed to play that. It's basically like perma-banned against him for the rest of the season. But the Rexar ban again, interesting given that Currently Chasing Samuro has not actually played Rexar at all, so it's pretty much just a map ban. But, at that point, it's like, there is always the possibility that, maybe Mainski has been practicing it and he can just whip it out, but they haven't shown yet that they will actually be willing to play the Rexar. It might just not be something that Mainski is comfortable on. So the Johanna and the Anduin band. So if Johanna's banned again, obviously we won't see Johanna. I feel like an ETC pickup is coming rather soon. And I feel like if we don't see Pina Colada pick it now, then we might see it picked up by Essence Gaming. And it does make me wonder, if neither of them pick up ETC or Johanna, what are the next tank options for these teams? It will be the ETC, picked up by Pina Colada right away. I'm really not surprised about that. I think it was pretty clear what the tank choice focuses were for these teams, so it was not at all surprising. To see that ETC picks up. The real question is, what will be the tank pickup for Essence Gaming? And at this point, they can kind of afford to wait, because, I think picking up the Zul is a lot more valuable at this point. Now, Zul obviously is someone who very recently coming back into the meta with his rework. I do wonder exactly how well he does, holding the top 1 Braxis holdout. Here's where, if Mainski does play Urel, that actually strikes me as potentially a good choice. Rexar is not on the table anymore. Could still go the Malthael, and I could see him probably going for that. Murad will be picking up the Rhaegar. Okay. I saw the Rhaegar, and I was wondering, are we going to see, another Bloodlust tailored comp? The Kael'thas, of course, the Kael'thas doesn't actually match up well with a Bloodlust Rhaegar, but, of course, most times you want a split of spell damage and physical damage anyway. So the Kael'thas there could just be kind of to, hide whatever later picks they have that might actually synergize with a Bloodlust Rhaegar, even though it doesn't have to be Bloodlust. Sylvanas banned out. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Sylvanas, ever since the recent round of Tower and Fort changes, I think Sylvanas is a good choice. I think that just the Black Arrows have just gotten that much more valuable. in the current day and age of towers. And our final ban not just of this draft, but of this entire series now. What will it be? Okay, the Uther ban. Yeah, the Uther ban makes a little bit more sense this time. Uther still on the table since, you know, they don't already have a main tank. Given that I know that they prefer to play it as a main tank rather than as a full-time healer, because Uther solo heal just kind of sucks. You really have to play around it. Falstad. Falstad for Rakanishu, so this means we're still looking for what is Tin's pick. Might not be picked up right now. Okay. Okay. The Falstad also, of course, gives them some flexibility with who they actually put in the solo lane. But it clearly either has to be Ailish or Rakanishu. Don't think there are really any other options, because the only pick left is Studley Dudley on the tank. Ooh, Alden Zero. That's a good one. I like that one. I like that joke. And you know what? We might see some Gilnean cocktails thrown here. So Mainsky will pick up the Sonya, and it will be Austin playing as the Grey main. Sonya, of course, some advantage that she has. She does have her Whirlwind talents, and I forget the exact names of the talents, but she does have her Whirlwind talent at level 4, which does enable her to self-cleanse out of roots. So that is something that could be very valuable against Zul. You know, even though I haven't played enough of the Zul versus Sonya matchup myself, I do feel like Sonya would have the better end of at least controlling the altar. Here it's not an altar. Here it's a beacon. You know, just getting the names of objectives that suit the theme of the map. So I think Sonya would have the better end of... I think Sonya would have the better end of controlling the beacon. Zul a little bit of better end of controlling the waves. Alright then, so we are going to go into our final game in this series. You know, this time, honestly, I'm not too sure about the draft. I think one of the X factors is the Falstad. It is a global, even though it's not the biggest map. I guess just wonder what are the potential things that he can do. Falstad does also give them the map control with the Gust, which they've shown that they like to do. I don't feel too strongly about either one of these drafts. I could very much see it going in either way. And I honestly don't feel too strongly about either of these teams at the moment. Maybe slight advantage for Essence Gaming, only because currently chasing Samuro right now really are, until they at least get their first series win, they really are the underdogs here. But you know what? It's time for that final game. The test, I don't know what I was going to say. The moment of truth for currently chasing Samuro. Let's get into our game already. All right, then. So for game number 3 on Braxis Holdout, it will be the members of currently chasing Samuro, currently chasing their first series win of NGS this season. Wolf will be playing as Kel'Thas, Marad on that Rhaegar yet again, Austin on the Greymane yet again, Pina Colada on the ETC yet again, and then Mainsky on the Sonya for the first time this series. Their opponents, it will be Essence Gaming. No farther away or further away from winning this series themselves. Tin will be playing as the Tassadar, Rakanishu on the Falstad, Apocalypse on the Stukov, Studley Dudley on the Mal'Ganis, and finally, it's Ailish on the Zul. All right, then. So our solo lane matchup. I do have some people in chat saying they do feel, yeah. And that's kind of what I thought. People saying that they feel that Sonya does get the better end of the solo lane matchup. So, of course, if you don't win your solo lane matchup, then you do have to commit some kind of rotation at some point eventually. I guess the only other option is if you can win your 4-man really, really hard, that you can actually put a lot of pressure on the forts or the fort front wall. So just some 4v4 skirmishing at the moment. Certainly, if there is a bit of an advantage that Essence Gaming has, it's with the Tassadar, yeah. And we're getting some more input from the chat as I was trying to say some of the same things. So the Tassadar gives Essence Gaming better poke than than currently chasing Samuro has. And the Stukov gives them better sustained healing than the Rhaegar does. And this is also another time where I'm wondering, will we see an adjustment? Will we see that healing totem that I always talk about for Rhaegar at level 4? And it's not that I'm saying like, oh, you should always go healing totem at level 4 for Rhaegar. But mostly just that if you don't, you're going to have weaker sustained healing. Pina Colada seems like he's eternally at half health in this lane, now at about 25%. He will have to back off. Does he have a tap ready? Doesn't look like he does, or he would have probably already gotten it. So I think this is an Essence Gaming beacon at the bottom for now. Pina Colada still trying to go in with half health. Murad also has no mana. This is just going to be a kill on ETC. Unfortunately, I felt that was a little ill-advised for the members of currently chasing Samuro. I think they just really needed to accept the fact that they were not able to get anything done here. They needed members of their team to hearth back to get mana, because if they're going around with that little mana, then it also obviously means that they don't have their taps. Meanwhile, the rotation actually comes out for the members of Essence Gaming. And I guess one of the advantages of that fall stat is also potentially alleviates those rotational difficulties with having to rotate someone up here, because Rakanishu, he can hard rotate on one rotation, and then if he needs to go back to the other lane, he can always fly out of there. Oh no, Pina Colada in yet another bad position, getting silenced, getting blocked by walls, goes back in when it feels like his team has already kind of backed off. And that will be the first objective picked up by Essence Gaming. They are going to have a 100% Zerg wave compared to an only 18% Zerg wave for currently chasing Samuro. So we are going to see the rotations from Wolf, obviously probably having some of the best clear on his team up there. Austin rotating as well, that Greymane, definitely providing a lot of good clear as well. So we won't have a huge amount of value gotten out of this wave. In the end, it will take a front wall. Might do some permanent damage to the fountain, but I don't think it finishes it off unless this push from Essence Gaming is able to make things any differently. Uh-oh. Okay, I was going to say, where is... He did indeed pick up Hurricane, Mainsky that is. So he does have the ability, but here is the engage from Pina Colada, and they pick up the kill on Tin. I knew it was going to happen. I committed to saying it, but this is a 5-man rotation. They are behind in levels. Pina Colada will be hit by the root, and now we might see kills traded out. Austin, why are you going in? I feel like he just had so few hit points there. So, I don't know. He was less than 50%. We did see the rotation from Falstead, and I was a little bit worried right there that Austin could have died, but he does get out in time. All right, Ailish is caught by herself, throws out the root onto Wolf, which does prevent him from doing any further follow-up, but I don't think a kill against Ailish was really on the table there with only Wolf and Pina Colada there. Big shock ray coming out from Tin, taking a nice chunk out of Wolf's hit points. Pina Colada does find himself having to back up. Meanwhile, we are going to see Mainsky finding himself having to defend. He's actually going to be defending against a Mal'Ganis. So Mal'Ganis is up here. And what are members of currently chasing Samuro looking for here? They are going to push alongside their siege camp, the Hellbats, but we are going to see the Raven and the Goliath coming out from members of Essence Gaming as well. Hellbats will be cleared up real fast. Hellbats being the siege camp, Bruiser camp being the combination of the Goliaths as well as the Raven. Raven at some point, I think, detects them in these bushes. Oh no, Murad is detected. I don't know if you realized it. Oh, that was an attempted kill on Tin, but a nice force wall from Tin to keep himself alive. Stop that initiation from ETC. I think if Pina Colada had been just a hair faster, because we measure time in hairs for some reason, I think it could have been a kill onto Tin. Meanwhile, where is Mainsky? Okay, Mainsky, I couldn't see it. It was the Zul portrait on top was overlapping, but we're going to see a potential kill opportunity. Rakanishu does barrel roll away. Now Austin a little bit trapped. They're trying to walk around the force wall. It's Pina Colada who's really low, but I think he does have just enough healing. Just kidding. He will not be able to get out of there alive. Must have been a shock ray or something that finished him off, because it still looked like he had a pretty nice... a nice chunk of health that I would surprised that he eventually just got bursted down there. And while I'm talking about that, I do want to give a big thank you to DB Smiley for the raid as we do finish up what is probably our final series of NGS tonight on my channel. Game starting at 8:15. All right then. So here is the attempted engage. This is a 4v3. So they can definitely get it, but ideally they want to see if they can get some more kills there. Oh no, Austin has to be careful about getting traded out though. Going in too hard for the kill on Rakanishu. Now Austin is really low. Unfortunately, as a Gray main, he has no self-sustain. Another big shock ray going in, just taking nice chunks out of Wolf's health. And members of currently chasing Samuro are struggling with the sustain. If the kill doesn't come quick from them between their Greymane and their Kel'Thas, Rhaegar's just having so much trouble keeping up in healing. And then we've got ETC looking for more engages, but he's not topped up either, so he will actually be the first one to go down. Now, luckily, at least for currently chasing Samuro, reaching level 10 is very important for them because, you know, as if there are any cases where reaching level 10 is not important. But I think for their style of the draft, reaching level 10 is going to help them a lot to actually secure some of the kills that they are currently not getting. Really, for Austin, honestly, at this point, it could be either heroic for him. Either one would help him secure kills. Even the go for the throat, which he didn't go for, could help him chase down the Falstad in those situations. We are going to see a Phoenix. I was even entertaining the idea of a Pyroblast, mostly just because, again, if they're trying to burst down a target, that could actually be something that would work. Wolf is literally outrunning a black hole. Pina Colada not quite as good at that, but he will be okay nevertheless. And that does mean Black Hole is on cooldown without actually achieving a whole lot. But this is still a fat Zerg wave pushing up against the keep front wall of currently chasing Samuro. Oh, Force Walls trapping Pina Colada. He goes in yet again. They might be able to... Oh, but Studley Dudley, he does have the Carrion Swarm, does enable him to get out of there alive. It was a nice attempt. Now, all things considered, this is still a pretty even game, but we do have a slight level lead for Essence Gaming. If anything, to me, the most worrying thing about this game so far is that this is the first map where currently chasing Samuro does not have a lead in kills. So this time, the team fights are not quite yet going in their favor. Again, we haven't actually seen any real post-10 team fights yet, and that really could make or break this game for currently chasing Samuro. Really needs to be that curse bullet going out on whoever ETC engages on. What are our mosh opportunities as well? We do, of course, have mosh out of Pina Colada, but I think his mosh opportunities are actually extremely low between all the interrupts, the gust, the black hole, the flailing swipe. I think it's going to be really just more dependent on power slide engages. Meanwhile, Pina Colada is around here looking. Possible engage onto Tin. Does get it, but there's no curse bullet, at least not yet. Throws it in. There's the mosh pit. It's gusted away, but they are able to secure the kill on Tin before it happens. So important for currently chasing Samuro, but what can they get out of this? It looks like they will just continue to push here. At some point, though, they might need Main C to go back and clear out the bottom before we have further damage going down to this keep. The front wall will be gone for that keep, and I think they really want to deny as much core damage as possible because this is a full bruiser camp. Actually, it did take some light damage, I think. Yeah, it's still taking some light damage as well as a catapult. Not actually sure what the name of the catapult unit is. Otherwise, I'm pretty good on my StarCraft naming. 13 talent tier advantage for Essence Gaming, but it shouldn't take too long for... Oh, my, no. Let's talk about Pina Colada right here. Getting trapped, getting silenced, getting rooted. Wait, did they have a root? I actually don't think he was rooted. So kill goes out onto Pina Colada. Now it's just time for a disengage. Ailish is looking, though. There is a root, and that's a gust as well, converting 3 kills. Oh, no, Murad stayed in here, too. That's going to be 4 kills. Oh, no. That was pretty rough. Hey, Brawler. Good to see you coming on over here. Oh, man. So, the really unfortunate thing there was after the gust, it was pretty clear that they were going to pick up another 2 kills. Unfortunately, I think Murad, just trying to see if he could save his team in what was unfortunately a pretty hopeless situation, does get picked off as well when I don't think he had to. In the end, that might not actually be the deciding factor in this game because they will actually have everyone back up right now. Spawn timer is not apparently that long at this particular point in the game. Engage onto Tin. I called him Tintin. That was like an old cartoon or something. Studley Dudley, meanwhile, I don't know if Studley Dudley gets out of here, but he should still have Carrion Swarm. No, he doesn't have it. And here's a pause. Stukov does have the root, but did he use it in that engagement? Did he use the root in that engagement? Did they actually have level 13 Talontier at the time that they got the ETC? Maybe they did. Maybe that's why I actually thought there was a root. All right, let's... Oh, no, I went back to me, and now they're actually starting a countdown, so now we're actually ready to get back into our game. All right, then, so we're back in-game. We might see a kill on Ailish. The Bloodlust committed. Ailish is surrounded, but Pina Colada is so low as well. The first kill might be onto Pina Colada. Ailish is still alive somehow. Just kidding, not anymore. There will be... Oh, right, Tin was already dead. Studley Dudley trying to go in, make something happen. Studley Dudley does not have Carrion Swarm. He can be killed as well, but instead they're going to go onto Apocalypse, and they will secure the kill on Apocalypse. It has been a little bit of a bloody game, back and forth now, with members of currently chasing Samuro now starting to pick up a few more kills. They are still behind in kills, and of course, you know, as was proven by Essence Gaming, you don't have to get the most kills to win the game. Again, just a few more Galaxy Brain level tips coming from my stream tonight. But it looks like we're going to see, despite the kills, it's going to be the beacons picked up by Essence Gaming, despite the kills being in favor of currently chasing Samuro. They see Rakanishu rotating. Rakanishu decides to get away safely himself. So now they've got to de-push the top. This is also a little bit risky given that it's going to be a beacon channeled very soon. I don't know what to do here. So it looks like they're going to rotate as 5, try to clear that up really quickly. But this alone could result in the beacons going in favor of Essence Gaming. Meanwhile, the siege camp is pushing down bottom lane as well. They aren't able to stall it out yet. I think this is another objective going in favor of Essence Gaming, but the kills will go in favor of currently chasing Samuro. They've got to convert it into more, though. But Wolf, trying to help follow up on his team, does get sniped by a shock ray. Pina Colada is also low as well. So is Murad, and I think they need to be... Oh, man. This is actually not going very well for currently chasing Samuro. Maybe if they hadn't traded out that kill, it would be okay. But now they've got to defend 2 lanes. At least the bottom one. Hopefully Austin can clear that up quick. But Pina Colada also so low right here again. He does have a tap. We'll get another heal from Murad. But this is still not looking good for currently chasing Samuro. Mainski's trying to get what he can done. But now he's getting super low. Okay, he does have a tap. But his effective health, or rather his actual health, is really, really low. I don't even know if they save the keep here. Tin is putting so much damage on. All right, so eventually they do clear it. But unfortunately for them, they do lose their top keep. They're very, very low on structures. For the rest of the game, that pressure in the top lane will also be really, really rough for them. So what is the play now for them? It's going to be real rough. I think possibly the attempted play for Essence Gaming is they get this camp that forces currently chasing Samuro to try to clear it. And then, yes, we see... Are we going to see the rotations of the boss? Okay, they will rotate past the boss. I wonder if they entertain the idea for it. Of course, getting the boss would be potentially risky. And we even saw that the members of currently chasing Samuro wanted to check and see if they were getting that boss. And this time, they are going to get the boss. Now that they know they have 2 lanes of pressure to deal with, it is spotted by Pina Colada. So hopefully we should see the rotation by Mainski pretty soon. But Pina Colada already taken so much damage there. problem is we've still got Gust Up. We've still got Flailing Swipe Up. They're just going to get gusted off. They can't get it. Mainsky actually manages to get on it. The kills are coming in for Currently Chasing Samuro, but there is one in favor of Essence Gaming. More in favor of Currently Chasing Samuro. They're low on all sides. Studley Dudley trying to pick up more, but it looks like Sonya will be winning against that. They're so low. Unfortunately, Tin is absolutely carrying on this Tassadar. And oh no, that is a 5-man team wipe. The boss was picked up for Currently Chasing Samuro, though. That is like the silver lining. That is the silverest of silver linings. But I don't know if it'll be enough. We've got some mercenary camps pushing. Eventually, we're going to have a catapult pushing. I think Tin is actually rotating around, looking to see what damage he can put on the core. This could be a little bit suspect. They've got... Okay, Rhaegar is going to be up very soon. He's doing it. He's going for it. Rhaegar is up, but the shields on the core have already been worn down. Apocalypse is coming in as well. Tin is actually really low. Okay, yeah. The core will not be killed at this time, but now we have no structures up for Currently Chasing Samuro. So again, this will be really, really rough. Their team fights need to be decisive because we're probably going to see an ongoing macro advantage coming out of Essence Gaming as they pick up this siege camp right here. I'm sure they'll pick up this other siege camp right over here. And the timing could not be worse for Currently Chasing Samuro as the beacons go up right now. Or the siege camp will be picked up. It's going to happen. 5 rotating here, picked up real quickly. Now, at the very least, Currently Chasing Samuro will stem the bleeding for the moment, as they do at least control this. But look at this pressure. Look at this pressure. They can't be indecisive. They just can't. I honestly don't know. They're getting very, very close to a checkmate situation. I actually don't think... I think they need to stop trying to just rotating around the map. They need to find a kill on this. No! They missed the power slide. They're not even going to kill Rakanishu. Oh, no. That was such a big oof. Oh, Austin's going to see if he can get it anyway. They do get it. But on the other side, it might not matter. Here is the core call by Essence Gaming. They're going to make it with 4. Core is already down to 50% of its health. And unfortunately, the dream might be dead for Currently Chasing Samuro. Currently chasing their first win of the series. I don't think it'll happen, though. 20% left on the core. Studley Dudley is on it. So are these catapults. And that will be Game 3 going in favor of Essence Gaming. So, a rough night for Currently Chasing Samuro. On the one hand, it's like, you know, do you celebrate or are you upset about it if you're Currently Chasing Samuro? They did get a map win here. It's the first time that they do technically have another map win, but this was their first time killing a core in NGS. Weren't quite able to finish out the series, much to their disappointment. But I think they just have to look at it from a growth perspective. Getting that map win was a big achievement for them, and I think they just need to take it from here, look at who's left on their schedule, and just see who's left that they're going to see about who they can beat. Meanwhile, on the side of Essence Gaming, definitely a good night for them. They will go up in the standings by just a bit. Their overall record goes to 3-3, so hitting 500, making themselves pretty solidly in the middle, and making it likely that although they won't be the top team in the division, it's pretty likely there's a good chance that they do make the.
Hello?
Hello, welcome, and congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
How are you guys feeling as a team after that win?
Really good. We want to make the playoffs, so we're like, we have to win tonight.
Yeah. I think, kind of given where you are in the standings, this is probably one of the matches that, not to like throw any shade to Currently Chasing Samuro, but just thinking about it very clinically, this probably was like kind of like a must-win matchup. Like if you guys did want to make it to the playoffs, and I assume you probably did some research, but kind of knowing that, I'm assuming you knew that basically just their record that they hadn't won a series yet, and still haven't. But after you did drop a game to them, how were you guys kind of feeling at that point in the series?
We were fine. He made a couple mistakes. He doesn't play Ming that often, and he made mistakes that he usually doesn't make. So I feel like, and the rotations, I don't know. We just like at the top there at the end, we had Joe kind of path like right through them, and they just like their bloodlust comp was just so like it's strong. Um, obviously, it kind of annihilated us a couple times. So, um, but yeah, we felt good though. Like we're like, okay, let's just pick a fun map and uh, play our game,
Just
and we
a
did.
fun map. That's your reason for picking Braxis? Just a fun map? Oh no, was that the
Pretty
Dragon
much.
Shower?
No, they picked Dragonshire.
Right,
I
right.
just meant after, like we were just like, okay, we're fine. We can,
Okay.
because I felt like, I mean, I don't know, they were very tentative. So, um, even with the blow up comp, like at the end, that last game, they were playing nervous. So, um, yeah.
All right then.
Sorry.
It's fine. And you mentioned Tin, and Tin is, I guess that's like your. I'm kind of saying it this way as like kind of your star damage player. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about Tin, as well as the fact that it seems like he's basically not allowed to play Phoenix
Phoenix.
anymore. Well, what's going on with that?
Well, this is like his third season,
Okay.
and yeah, and so he's known for Phoenix play. Yeah, that's his main, and I mean, it's not a big secret. Like anybody who watches, like he's really, really good. So he's just known, like he's in the league for his Phoenix play.
All right. Well, his reputation truly precedes him then.
Yes, yes, it's because it's banned like first ban every time he
Yeah,
gets
yeah.
shot.
I mean, I saw that this series, saw that like the last series. I do have another cast of you guys coming up at some point, so we'll see if that trend continues. And speaking of
Yeah.
just like what's coming up, we talked about you have playoff aspirations, given kind of where you are in the standings, where you've got now a 3-3 series record. What are your like? I guess a little bit more detail on your plans moving forward, with also things like what opponents you're going to face in the future, like almost like what's your plan to make it to playoffs and stuff.
Well, so this week we have another game on Thursday, Respect the Goose. And I haven't quite researched them yet, but I know that I think they're pretty good, like from like just the stats, the raw stats I've been kind of looking at, like from week to week. But I don't know, like every week we're kind of working on something, and we have a lot of good, I don't know, discipline and talking, and we picked up two new players for tanking, because we haven't really had someone who's just like kind of our tank, and so that's been nice. This week we finally found like some solid tanks, so just getting them like really comfortable with them, and preparing for each match and giving it our best. That's our plan.
It's interesting you say that last part, given that you actually had some kind of role swapping around the tank role in this series. I believe it was you playing tank in the very first game, and then Studley Dudley, which is a fantastic name, by the way,
Yeah.
doing it for the last two games in the series.
Yeah. Honestly, it was just because we had been practicing warming up, and he played ETC in a warm up game, and I don't know. I just kind of was like, they banned my Anduin, and then they banned someone else, and we're like, we wanted Rhaegar, and I don't play Rhaegar, and he does. So I was like, I
Okay.
play ETC, so let's just swap it out. And
All right, I see.
yeah.
Very good, very good. Moving forward, which out of the opponents that you have left, which ones are the ones that you think you'll be looking forward to playing the most?
Excuse me. Let's see. Team Training Wheels, just because their name. Um, and see like if they. I'm sorry. Just see like how they. I don't know. See how they play, and then I want to go to the playoffs because I really want to play better than bots again. They were really fun. They were super fun.
Yeah, of course, I was there with you for that series. They were, I mean, right now they're pretty much the top dogs within the division. They're currently undefeated. So always nice to have the idea of like wanting to go up against really challenging opponents. So I'm glad to hear that out from you too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, we played really well against them, so I think that we can give them another run for their money.
Very good. That's kind of the attitude and the spirit that I like to hear. That sounds great.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, I was with you for that series. I was with you for this series. I'll even see you again this Thursday.
Thank you so much for your time and casting.
Yeah.
It's really awesome.
Since you scheduled a lot of your matches ahead of time, it was easy for me to pick them up.
Yeah.
And I guess at this point, as we begin to wrap up the interview, I'm just going to throw the floor to you for any comments or shout-outs.
Of course, shout outs to all the NGS volunteers and casters for your time and help. Like Aura helped today really. I had, dealing with the moderator today for our new people, and so thank you for that. And then shout out to our new team members, Studley Dudley and Chase, and shout out to Adrian for always being at practice, and he didn't play tonight, but always being like super helpful at practice and filling roles, and I don't know, just everybody, thank you. That's it.
Studley Dudley coming up big tonight. I'm really just looking for an excuse to say that name.
Right, it is fun to say.
But thank you for your time tonight. Congratulations on your win. Good luck moving forward, and good night.
Thank you. You too, King Andrew. Bye.
Thank you. All right then, friends. We are done for tonight.